Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone and you're watching my week 4 reflection video for cross-platform mobile development term 1410. This week we were doing the network and validation for our iOS framework application, the same type of deal we were doing last week, only on iOS. And overall I think it went fairly well, although I did have a significantly less amount of time to put into it this week. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I still was able to get pretty much everything I needed to get done finished. I just unfortunately just didn't have a lot of time. Anyways, on the right side I have my iPad being mirrored through Air Server. You'll also notice that I'm running the iPhone version of the application on my iPad. The reason being I built custom swipeable cells and I had a lot of issues with layout for the iPad with those cells, and I know that auto layout is supposed to be really good once you learn how to use it, but I know it's a really steep learning curve, so I knew it wasn't going to be possible for me to dive into that rabbit hole for this week. So I decided to just make it iPhone only and just run it that way. All right, and then on the left I have the simulator. That's only just up there to show the syncing for updates. So let's go ahead and one thing with the swipeable cells that I don't like the way it ended up is you can have multiple cells open, and that works, except for the problem is no matter which one you select, it's always going to edit or delete the last one that was opened. And the reason is the way the index is being passed. I built these based on a tutorial I found on raywunderlich.com. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But by the time I noticed I was too far into it and I didn't have the time to really turn around, so I had to try and just see if I can figure out some sort of fix for it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. It works perfectly fine if there's only a single one open, or if the last one you opened is the one you want to edit, although you have to close the previous one when you come back to it. Otherwise, it screws up the indexing, and it can. If the index was the very last, and now the index is one past, it will give you an out of range, unfortunately. Singles still work perfectly fine, so let's go ahead and edit this one. And let's just add edit again on the end here. I do also require that there's 10 digits within the phone number, and it'll pop up an alert view. I did try and limit how many alert views I use, just because that's not really an iOS type of thing to do. They like to do a lot of things, either not really notify you or do something very subtle, such as the way I actually handled ones or zeros. It still won't allow you to enter a 1 or a 0 at the beginning, and then it just pops up a red numbers cannot start with 0 or 1. But if you type in regular number, it does format, although that formatting is stripped again, so it's still saving it as a parse number when it gets saved up to the server. Alright, let's go ahead and done that, and then launch the simulator. There goes in updates. Edit or delete still works as well. And that's that. Alright, and the way I set up my networking, my network connection is through reachability, which doesn't seem to work correctly with simulator. So I'm now going to have to actually change my FaceTime and then show you my network connectivity from my FaceTime, because as soon as I turn off the Wi-Fi on my iPad, I then lose Air Server because it goes through AirPlay. Anyways, give me just a sec to flip that around and I'll show you that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and turn the iPad into airplane mode. And then pops up an alert, no connection, only contacts saved on the device will be available to view. So I have it set up similarly to the way it was last week in Java. It also checks in login. Unfortunately, you can't log in without a network connection. It does. That's a requirement with Parsa, apparently. But yeah. All right, so we have updating data, data validation. We're validating the phone number twice. It'll only allow you to enter a number itself, and then it has to be 10 digits, and it can't start with 1 or 0. It will not let you enter anything other than that. Although I do have some logic built in that if for whatever reason a number ends up at parse being less than 10 digits, it doesn't crash. It will just simply not format it for the displaying of it. Network detection is working correctly, although I wish I would have been able to do the login, but again, like last week, it won't allow you to save the login to your cache of your device. Synchronization, I did the 20-minute poll, which seems to be working fairly well. It also poll to refresh also works, but that's a built-in thing with the parse table view framework, so I didn't necessarily do that myself. Anyways, that's about it. This has been Eli Freestone, week 4 of CPM term 1410. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.